Yo, what is up, armies? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Alright guys, so today's video is something new that I want to add on to my channel. It's something different that I really want you guys to know about. Something that I have the ability to tell you guys this, because this is not what I expected to come forth for this channel and for these things I want to tell you guys. I want you guys to learn about, how I started codes all the way up to now, about to reach to a sophomore year in college. So I kind of want to explain to you guys some stuff and what I've learned in the past year. Since I just this is my first year at college, I kind of want to let you guys know what the difference and stuff like that, and what do I feel when I'm there, because it's a whole different vibe than what LCC used to provide for me, but now things took a turn. Things can be out of the blue, out of nowhere, and it's a whole different spirit, different journeys that I took. To become part of the dream team, become part of, I have a different friend group now. I used to have my Stampede squad. That's those are my friend group. You know what I mean? My actual friend group. But if I am in Coach Academy, some new people have to coming in, and to interact with us and to be part of the group and stuff like that. Well, and also the thing is, what I heard about was that some of my other friends, they're not graduating the same year as I am. Some other people are graduating 2027. Some people are graduating in 2026. So it's like a whole different thing. And I just learned that some of my other friends, like Evan, Marissa, those people that I know for, this year, was a little different. Those two people that I mentioned, they're actually graduating 2027. So I might have to kick off, Evan from the group, since someone invited him to a different group in our group chat. So, my mom had to kick them out, because it is a really of a long process, and I don't want to tell you guys. This is since things are kind of personal, I don't want to take this thing out for you guys. I don't want you guys to get involved with it. I want you guys to just just chill about it. I'm gonna take this thing in my own hands and talk to my mom about this kind of stuff. But yeah, but also being in college is not just about being all fun, positive, blah blah blah. But also sometimes you have some down days, or if someone you don't even know, this can, this is insane, to think about that, because when they first come into Coach Academy, I was really shy. I don't know what to say. I don't know who to make friends with, because I was literally in a different class. Because then you already know, once you fix on the class that you're already going into, you automatically got transferred down to a different class, and then out of the blue right there for me like that. So I don't know, things got switched up, and some people got mixed up in that it's so weird in the attendance. You know what I mean? Sometimes people got mixed up with that, and taking people out of the class, and taking people out of the class, taking people going to different classes and different different things, bro. When I had that experience, I was totally in shock. I don't even know what to do in that situation, because this is my first time learning about this kind of stuff as well. As well, being at Coast is a whole different thing for me, because when I get used to being LCC, there's a lot of sporting events, and different things here and there for me. Because I know being part of LCC, being part of Mavericks is something what I always go to and what I go through the most. I have tights there. I have been in there for so long, 4 years in Mavericks. They have a whole different vibe to it, different things to go through each and every single day, and that is what that is what I grew up with, and who I grew up with in that position. being part of them, being part of that's who I am. But if I am at Coast Academy, it's a lot different than most of you guys might think it is. Cause like now you're like experiencing new things and new things to do in life. You know, because like no, now we're doing budgeting, we're doing real jobs, getting a real job and see what's going on. You know, and you know like just interact with new people. You know, and just like socializing in the situation and CBI. So like the community based instructions and these are mostly like adult transitioning kind of stuff and more things that to explore and more things to do in real time and real life, being an adult, being in that stage where you're now like a full on adult, you know, like you're not, you know, like a kid anymore, you're not a teenager. You're still a teenager at the end of the day, but you know, like you still have to be your mature self and be who you really are in a position, and what that God takes you in is all in for you. Because when I see it in my perspective, God literally led me into this new world that, you know, have a lot of new friends and cool, really exciting people that, you know, is welcoming you into this school, a new school, and new different things. Because with me, you know, with my old house, when turning up to my new house here, I moved up here to this Carmel Valley, and you know, and in this new house, like this is like a whole different thing for me. You know, like, you know, I started my journey with that, and it's just a whole different thing that I can deal with it, and you know, things you know change up really quick, just like this. Just like this, you know, like it's really hard to think of that. But, you know, don't think negative in that position. Don't think negative. Don't put, you know, bad energy around the world. I don't want people to like know that, you know, like I don't want any people to know that you know, have that anger in you or in inner state of you. You know, like you want to have that expression. You know, like you don't want to have that, you know, face when you're in. You know, you don't want to push it all away. I get it. Sometimes you don't feel ready to go, but sometimes for myself, I don't really feel like going to coast. I didn't even know what to expect in a situation because, you know, I would have new friends. You know, I would have new people to, you know, make friends with and all that stuff, and I was like that. And also when I was, you know, going to different classroom, I was bumped out. I was sad for real. You know, at the one point I was literally about to cry and break down. So like, I don't know what to do in the situation. You know, like, cause like now like I don't know what to deal with anymore. You know, like it is a really hard process to think about that. You know, like a lot of things nowadays now flew by, and a couple months in after that, I fixed myself in a situation, and and you know, all the motivations I got, you know, hey, that calms me down, and that will help me to grow in that situation. And you know, now like I have Brendan, I have Jose, you know, like all my staff there, all my friends there, Miss Joe, like including them in the dream team. You know, like that is. Definitely need to take time to put in that position before I can go out there again. You know, the things can change up quick, just like this, You know, like you never know what you would deal with when you are, you know, new to the school, and this is what I've been in this same situation as well too. So you guys are not the ones that are only, you know, experiencing this, but we are in the same boat together as well too. Because I have that same experience as you guys as well. So you guys don't have to go through this alone and by yourself. You have you know, people. You have your own companion in you, and all that. Because like you're going into a different world. You're going into a different school and different thing that you're gonna experience with. But you have to know is that this will help you grow as an individual, being a full on, you know, adult, and just going through your life with a bunch of cool friends and laughter, and just, you know, have fun in that. You know, don't think it too seriously. Don't think it's like don't think like you want to quit school, you want to drop out of school. You don't do that. Like you don't want to do that. Like once you are fully in, and you already blend in with the crowd, you just go with the flow and just make that memory the best if you can. Because this is what I did too when I first came into the school, and so that is what makes me grow even more. And what I do now is like insane because now I experiencing new stuff that people impact me with and influence me with the kind of stuff. Because my mom and my dad, they helped me going through all of this, and it just harder now. With me doing my YouTube channel, with me doing this and that, it's like harder things that what you need to deal with in that situation. And I don't want to see you guys being heartbroken or being aspiration anxiety because of that. Or any, like if you're, really nervous for this, or if you're not looking forward to it, or if you guys are not ready for goals. I totally get it. Sometimes people feel, like you're not ready, but there'll be people that are always sticking by your side. They always have your guys' backs. And same as what I did too. I got treated with respect, with a lot of laughter, fun, and being with all the other people that it makes me feel special and unique and one of a kind. And so when I, came in, it's totally different than what you guys expected. So, alright guys, I think that's it for right now. I guess about kind of stuff. And also like, like most of you guys would think just like when you're going into something that is different for you guys or different things that you wouldn't expect, don't think anything negative. Don't think that you're gonna back down for this fight. We always stand tall and we go through together with that. Don't pursue you into the past. Go forward into your future and focus on what the present would be like. Like this is what you really are, and in that motivation that you are in, and what it will motivate you to go through that every single day. And God teaches me how to become a better and better person, and just grow stronger than ever before. So this will help you in your mental state and what you want to do in that lifestyle, because that will help me that will help you guys or help me, going through that each and every single day to be part of what, help you guys with like something like that. Like my family, God, my girl, Finn, everybody. Like even my friends back at Coast, back at LCC, they all have my backs. They all like are sticking by my side through thick and thin. Everything is like everything's all cleared up in the air. Like this will help me clear out my fish tank in the water to now in a fin. To now like we have a fin flopping around the ocean. Being wild, being free. And this is what I feel like when I'm in Coast. This is what I feel like being in that new world now, being part of who I really am, being part of things that there's that is surrounding with like surrounding with like the new things and what I would expect in that thing. So don't worry about it. You're always there. I know you guys are always there for me and for my crew, for my team, and I'm always there for you guys too. You guys always impact me in countless days, and you guys supporting me in all you can, and supporting me, believing in me, trusting in me, and you guys are amazing armies that you guys have been like so thoughtful of, and you guys have have that part in you, and that part of you that like helped me in that situation is something that what I grew up with and what I do in that lifestyle. You guys mean the world to me, and you guys wouldn't be seen without us here, without me, and without me and Finn, without the Die Fam. Things would never change with me, growing up another channel. So that will help me as well to pursue in that dream, to continue in that dream. And what I do as a dream, to be part of the Die Fam, and that will help me continue that as an individual, as a team, as a family, and as an organization that what I build up in that world, and what I want to build it as a studio, as what we're going to do as a Dive Academy. And that is what that will change if I transfer just my room into this entire studio and that operation we're going to have. So this it will change in that bit in the future. And you guys mean the world to all of us. It's not just about me, too, about Finn and the whole crew and the family, and being part of the Chang's army, being part of who we really are in the situation, helped me grow overnight and help me going through all of this, you know, with my school year, with everything that's been going on, and you know, bro, I only have about like 2 more years, bro. This is insane, bro. Like, you know how this is like insane for me, and how things will go by this quick. And what I do now is like different for me now, you know, like it's what my heart feels like, to think of you guys being there for us, being, you know, in that part of the situation that people don't even understand this and that, but you know, like things will always change, and you know, God will always look over us and watch over us in that, and you know, with all the angels around him, you know, like that will help us continue the legacy, helps me going through that, you know, phase, and that will help me continuing that lifestyle and what I do as, you know, a YouTuber, as a content creator, and all of that. You know, that will help me, you know, going through what I have right now, being part of the family, being part of Chang fam, Chang armies, Dai fam, being part of the Dolphin, being part of who we really are as a, you know, being part of me, you know, because all of like my cam stuff, my, you know, and all of that cam pals or whatever strides, those are the only things that are, you know, like those are the only thing that's like really extra for me, you know. Those are, you know, my extracurriculars, you know what I mean? Like those are stuff that is not in my bubble, it's not really in me, in my blood. Because in my blood and what I want to do, and what I would pursue in, and what I want to continue in doing this, is being, you know, like 100% fully part of the Chang fam. And not just about that too, but sometimes, you know, my family, sometimes they want to, you know, put me in the program where, you know, with a bunch of friends, and people want, they want me to make new friends, and you know, and all of that stuff. And I have, bro, like I have been, you know, putting my heart out and putting my heart and soul out, and you know, and just to become a bright person, because you know, when you know, 5-star, hey, 5-star, you know, 5-star, you know, C-star, life star, you know, and that will continue me in what I do. That will help me grow in that life and be a part of that life, and you know, being part of the dive, and this is what I do as a dream, is how we continue that thing in that world, or whatever it takes to be part of this thing, this whole entire operation, this entire social life, and what I have in that. You know, it's not just about this and that, and or stuff like that, or anything that's going through your way, or anything like that. 'Cause I go through all my phases too. It's not just you guys, but it's me too. You know, like I wouldn't have, you know, bro. Like this is serious. This is what I want to. This is serious, bro. Like this is something what I want to continue doing, and what I am, because this is not funny games. This is not a, you know, a laughing matter. Like this is something that I want to talk to you guys about. My college life, being part of really who I am as a YouTuber, what I want to do right now, and what I want to do in that lifestyle, being part of the family and all of that. And this is like my reputation, and what I want to do as being part of the Chang fam, because sometimes being part of the family is also really meaningful for me, because those are my family, and I don't want them to push me around in any type of situation, and I want them to support me. I want them to know that, okay, like I have a different life to live too. You know, like it's not like, you know, they're pressuring me to do this stuff like here and there. You know, like sometimes they do that. They pressure me to do stuff like that. But you know, I love them. You know, I love my mom, my dad, and my sister. You know, they're amazing, and I love them no matter what. And I never doubt anything. You know, like I never doubt it. You know, they're always an amazing, incredible human beings too, and they supported me in my YouTube career. I wanted them to do it in that situation and being part of that, and all that stuff, you know. But yeah, for my dad, you know, like he's a hardworking guy. Like, you know, he travels around the world. He goes overseas sometimes too. Being back in Malaysia and then being part of here as well too. Being back at home with the family. So it's like a whole different set for him, I would say. But he's also working his butt off, you know. Like he's a big boss guy, big boss man. He goes through that every single day, and he's working and grinding hard with the family, and this, you know, he's also a really funny guy too. You know, like he's not just about working and this and that. You know, like I feel like he's also a really funny guy. He sometimes embarrassed me and Finn. You know, like I love how he had this side of him. You know, just like being part of the family. You know what I mean? And you know, like he's a really good cooker. You know, he always cook for Finn and whenever it comes with dinner and stuff like that. You know, he's always dancing like, you know, like he always dancing like, you know, like sometimes he embarrassed me and Finn. Like, you know, this is a really cool thing too. You know, like sometimes we go on trips together, on the car trip, on the road trip, and stuff like that. And this is how I like how my dad is. You know, like my dad is always really cool. He's always on the grind, or you know, making fun memories with him. It's like always amazing. But sometimes I don't want to like get into bad things, but sometimes my dad gets a little bit emotional in that way because I know he does have anger management, so I don't want him to I don't want him to actually like like go through that again because I don't like when my dad does that. Anyways, I always like I know like he being a dad, but like sometimes being part be, I don't know. It just sometimes my dad, I love him. He's amazing. But for my mom, she works really tirelessly. I would say, bro, like this is coming in tears, bro. But my mom is not just like any type of person where, like she's not a type of person where, like she's just like having fun with the family or going out with friends and walking or working out, stuff like that. But like she's also like helping us a lot with school, a lot with work too, as well too, any extra stuff that she's doing. Or sometimes, she just has fun times too, watching movies by herself sometimes. Sometimes he calls my dad, and I'm going to check up on my dad and see what he's up to. If my dad is busy doing work, my mom sometimes, call friends and stuff like that. Or just, go through her day with, like working out, maybe going out with friends, going out for a walk, working out. She loves to go shopping sometimes too, and going out to eat with friends, friends with my mom and stuff like that, or us even. My mom is an amazing guy, amazing woman, But yeah, she's I would say she's really selfless, but she's a really amazing, woman that I already know of, and yeah, this is what comes to my heart than what it is, because my mom is amazing, and I love her, and I know sometimes she does get, have a soft side for her too, but whenever my mom dance or sing, she makes me laugh every day, bro. And I love when my mom makes us laugh or have a good day and always have a smile on her face, I love that, I don't like when she's always mad with my sister or, have that going through her. Because I know sometimes her emotions can get the best of her, so. And I don't want her to feel that way. I know her emotion can't fake that. But I know what's best for my mom then what. She always drives me to music, art, whatever. Sometimes I don't know my scooter, and stuff like that. People my personality. I mean, yeah. You don't want to meet my own self. I have my own. I was with my own you know, thing too, but yeah. Yeah, my mom is, you know, I love her. Yeah, that for my sister. My sister is not just a type of person that. My sister is not a type of person where, you know, my sister is not a type of person where she's not just my best friend, but we grew up together in the past 19 years. You know, I'm the older brother, and sometimes my own responsibility is what to take care of my, sister, and it's not easy, you know. Even though if I'm in a relationship, sometimes I want to know what's best for my sister as well, to continue her legacy, be part of, being part of the, being part of the gymnastics team and Tokyo TTC as well. Oh, I heard what to do. What's best for her, for her gymnastics and her team, and I know they need her and stuff like that. And I know she's also working on that, and so, like, I'm sorry I'm crying on the spot right now. It's really emotional for me to talk about this kind of stuff. But yeah, my sister sometimes also like play Roblox with me, but we don't do that anymore. But at least she helps me with that, and to she always like helps me in that type of situation, and this is how she always like help me in that situation, in part of my life, and she's not my love of my life, but she's like a sister that I grew up with, and just play with her and just hang out with her in that situation. When we were kids, we used to play with each other, and then we played Roblox back in Malaysia, and when we were here, sometimes we go out to eat as a family, like for all four of us, and my sister is always really funny, and she's always amazing. And all that stuff. I don't want to get emotional right now, but it's just really hard for me to talk about this kind of stuff. But I know how to talk about this sometimes too, but yeah. But yeah. I think that's all I want to say right now. I feel like it's been too late. I feel like I don't want to make this video go longer. So we're the 24-minute mark right now, so I don't want to, I don't have a large file, huge file in that, but alright guys, this is for right now. So thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn up post notifications. I promise you guys there will be more exciting videos like this for you guys, but this is something that I never expected to cry on the spot. But I also hang out with Brendan too. If you don't know, I hang out with him earlier this afternoon. Yeah, but yeah, I had a great day anyways. Alright guys, that's it for right now, but I'll see you guys in my next vlog. Peace.